Reduce effect of fuel subsidy removal. NLC meeting with federal government on fuel subsidy removal inconclusive. Nigerians fume as filling stations adjust petrol price to reflect NNPCL's new pump price. Police investigate killings in 2 local government areas of Rivers State by cultists over 1.5 million naira levy. On the foreign scene, former Vice U.S. President Mike Pence to challenge Trump in race for White House. I am Constance Mega. The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, has assured Nigerians that the price of fuel will regulate the price of transportation and other goods in the country. While speaking on Arise News, Mr. Kyari said as market forces determine the price of fuel, transporters and business owners will be forced to adjust their costs.
To the ordinary man. First of all, market will regulate it. There's no doubt about it. Market will also regulate the cost of transportation. What people do is that the market itself will regulate that. It will come down because realities will come down. People will have no choice than to allow their vehicles to come with passengers, and realities will down on even the transportation segment of our society to come down this price. So it will come down. There is always this truth around when prices change upwards, people will react knee-jerk, and after that, it comes back to reality.
Well, Mr. Kyari also hinted that discussion on how to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal is ongoing.
The alternatives to subsidy are better than not doing it, and therefore you're better off allowing the other segments not to fund this, because as today for you to keep the subsidy in today's context, you have to abandon many things you are physically doing today side by side with the subsidy regime today, and therefore it is just not available for you. It's a different context. Would something change? Absolutely. I'm aware there are engagement going on with our stakeholders to see, okay, what can we do? What can government do to its citizen? It's very typical. And I also understand this. The disposition itself of Mr. President is very, very clear. But for you to do this, you must have to face the functional market situation.
Well, the GMD of the NNPC Limited again said the turnaround maintenance of the Port Harcourt refinery will be completed before the end of this year.
The level of the work that we are doing. We did have delays. These delays were caused by global supply chain issues, not distinct to us, not different from any other jurisdiction, but there were delays, and we'll deliver this by the end of the year. And of course, there's work going on in Warri Refinery that is already on earnest, and of course, the Kaduna Refinery has a very different situation. We have awarded the contract for Kaduna Refinery, and this is also going in place. But ultimately, the end result will be that you're going to have a surplus of production in the country by the end of next year. I'm sure that you're aware the Dangote Refinery has been commissioned. It will go into commercial production in July or in August.
Meanwhile, the meeting between the federal government and the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) over fuel subsidy ended yesterday evening without a definite consensus. The over 5-hour meeting, which was held at the Presidential Villa Abuja, was to, among other things, forestall a labour crisis following the increase in the pump price of petrol due to the petroleum subsidy removal. Well, the federal government's delegation includes the spokesperson of President Bola Tinubu, Dele Alake, and the group CEO of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, while the Labour delegation was led by NLC President Joe Ajero. Now, after deliberations, the NLC president told State House correspondents that organized labor asked the federal government to revert to status quo, as he strongly criticized the move.
As far as labor is concerned, we didn't have a consensus in this meeting. Prayers of NLC is that we go back to status quo, negotiate, think of alternatives and all the effects and how to manage the effects this action is going to have on the people. If it is an action that must take off, the subsidy provision has been made up to the end of June. And before then, labor management government should be able to think of what will happen at the end of June. We have refineries, Kaduna, Warri, Sapele, Port Harcourt. Why are they not functioning? That we have to go and refine abroad.
Well, correspondent Philip Mweli reports that spokesperson of the government's delegation, Dele Alake, on his part, said the parties will continue dialogue at a later date.
We've been deliberating on finding very, very amicable resolution to the queue and the increase in pump price. And we had a very robust engagement. We cannot go into any details now because talks are still ongoing. We have adjourned now. We are continuing the talks at a later date, very, very shortly. There is a deregulation. There is no subsidy. There will be interventions. We're not calling it palliative this around, but there will be intervention, at least so that the impact on the poorest will be very minimal.
Well, as you may know, the NNPCL implemented a new petrol pump price yesterday, selling at 511 naira per litre in Rivers State, or 537 naira per litre in Abuja, 488 naira in Lagos. NNPC is the sole supplier of petrol in Nigeria. Marketers took a cue from the NNPC prices and adjusted their own pump price to about 520 naira. In Port Harcourt, correspondent to Ibi Oruware reports that spoke to some motorists at some NNPCL mega filling stations who said they were surprised at how quickly the NNPCL implemented the new petrol pump price.
Came here to buy fuel and we are saying 511 and it's boldly written. It's not that maybe you heard it from somebody. I am surprised.
It's unfair now. We buy our fuel 511 naira.
Yeah, all my mind was that I would buy here because it's government fuel station. The young man directed me to move inside. I entered and when I looked up there, I even called my wife, like telling her that, thank God I'm lucky I've entered. Telling the woman that, that the price is less. And I looked up and saw 511 naira. I paused and I told her, she shouted, I have to put up my phone. Is it that government are no more ashamed or what?
I'm not happy when I saw the price. I was thinking NNPC will be better because I live at Rumigbo. Morning I came here to 7 or so. Till now I've not bought. I'm still waiting. Fuel skyrocketed.
Meanwhile, commercial drivers along the East-West Road in Rivers State capital have adjusted the cost of transportation. Our correspondent reports that Rumokoro to Rumosi is now 300 naira as against 200 naira. Rumokoro to Choba is now 400 naira as against 300 naira. Choba to Mbolu Rumibo is 300 naira as against 200 naira. And Choba to Rumosi is now 150 naira as against 100 naira, while Choba to Alakehe remains 100 naira. Moving on, police say they are investigating the killing of 6 people by suspected cultists over refusal of the community to pay them 1.5 million naira levy in Aoda West and East local government areas of Rivers State. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringe Koko, said the 6 victims were killed by cultists in Odireke Ubie community in Aoda West. Well, earlier reports said the gunmen, suspected to be cultists, killed 1 person in a Barikbo community in Aoda East local government area early on Wednesday and 5 people in Odireke Ubie community in Aoda West local government area on Tuesday. Well, the gunmen are said to live in a neighboring community and operate with motorcycles. The public relations officer of our Core Youth Congress in our other East local government area, Eka Kita Hector Chinem, told our correspondent that the victim in Abarikbo community, Aburi Dixon Eddy, was shot in his home while asleep.
Ahoda is in a Abarikbo community at about 5 minutes after 4 early this morning. Some group of cult boys who reside at Ojemude, they came to a Abarikbo community who went to in search of about 3 persons. So unluckily, one Aburi Dixie KD was being found in his house sleeping when they barged into his house, shot him in his stomach and the intestine opened. So they took bike down to Ojemude where they are hiding.
Well, Mr. Chinem said the 5 persons killed in Odiereke Ubie community were killed because the community refused to pay 1 million naira to the hoodlums.
Secondly, in Ahoda West, Ward 9, Odiereke Ubie, precisely, 5 youths were killed for ransom. They say the community should pay to them. That the community, Odiereke community in Ahoda West, that they should pay 1 million naira to these hoodlums living inside the bush. And this community, they don't have money. No elites that are available at home. So the people that are at home doesn't have money. They go farming. So when these 5 youths return from farm harvesting, just for them to meet their sudden death, and they kill them with 3 bikes they came and they left just like that without quarreling with any of them.
He, however, called on the new Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, CP Nwonyi Polycarp, and stakeholders to help the communities in Ekpeye Kingdom.
Since the old one has gone and this new one has come on board, I think this is the best time for him to showcase his work by taking a very good step in making sure that Ahoda East and Ahoda West, these culprits should be brought to book. Because this place these boys are hiding, not that it's too far or it's too big. the security can help us and do this work, but I don't know why they are pampering these boys. But I'm pleading on the Commissioner of Police, the AIG, and also the area commander and DPO of these two AGs to help us and make sure they bring these boys to book.
Meanwhile, the Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Nwonyi Emeka, has declared a total war on violent crimes, including armed robbery, cultism, and kidnapping. CP Polycarp Emeka made the declaration while briefing journalists at the command headquarters in Port Harcourt.
Let me state categorically that I am here in the state to tackle crime and criminality. No effort will be spared in dealing with all criminal elements in the state. A total war is thus declared against violent crime, armed robbery, cultism, kidnapping, etc. To ensure a successful execution, we shall synergize with other sister agencies. And to battle with perpetrators of this heinous crime, Rivers State shall not be inhabited by criminals. And I will spare no effort in smoking them out of their hideout.
But CP Emeka also promised that the police under his watch would ensure respect for human rights. Correspondent Emeka Otuka reports that CP Emeka also warned police officers in the state against corruption. He urged the public to report erring police officers for disciplinary action in accordance with the law. In the meantime, police say they rescued 6 pregnant teenagers from a baby factory and arrested 2 suspects in Alu community, Ikwere local government area of Rivers State. The 2 suspects, Akudo Ifani and Mary Ade, were arrested for harboring the pregnant girls in a home with the alleged intent to sell the babies after delivery. In an interview with reporters, one of the suspects, Akudo Ada, confessed to the crime.
I never bring men to pregnant them. They come on their own. They come on their own. Only these 6 of them never get back like this. I know they say I just give them for those who no gets. 1.4 million is for a girl. A boy is 1.5.
How much do you pay them?
It depends the price where they come and the month. If they will come to do, I will give them like 800, 900. If not from 5 months, I give 600, say 650. If not 3 months, I pay 350, 400.
Well, the other suspect, Mary Ade, also spoke on her involvement in the crime.
So this lady called me, they came and arrested me over child trafficking. So she accused that she has given me a pregnant woman, which I accepted. She gave me one. That was about 6 years ago, yes. So when she gave me this lady, I now gave it out to somebody, a woman that has maternity. And the woman now gave me 30,000 out of the incident.
Well, some of the pregnant teenagers also spoke.
My friend, I told him, he said that he don't want the pregnancy, that I should abort it. And my mommy told me to leave the baby, that I should leave it, that she should take care of the baby. And he was not feeling fine, she was critical ill then. So I don't know what. The husband took me to her.
So how much did they promise to pay you?
250.
If it's a what?
Boy.
And if it's a girl?
200.
My sister finding that I was pregnant. She took me to scan. I was 2 months, and so I told my sister and my mom that I want to go meet my guy. I want to tell him that I'm pregnant for him. So my mommy told me that I should not go meet the guy if I don't want to suffer. She just go and do child trafficking.
Still ahead, CBN denies devaluing the Naira. Stay tuned.
When there is news, we report it. What
Response team on violence against women and children, Tombaridun Kakote, is advocating for justice for Chinazam Emeka Okoli, who is suffering brain damage after undergoing a surgery for appendicitis. Was speaking during a press conference on behalf of the Coalition of Human Rights Advocates in partnership with the media. Tombaredum Kakote alleged that doctors at Shell Clinic in Port Harcourt performed a 5-hour surgery on Chinazam Emeka Okoli, leaving the child physically and mentally impaired for the past 7 years.
In 2016, Chinazam, a healthy 10-year-old boy, went in for an appendicitis surgery as diagnosed by Shell doctors at the Shell Clinic Port Harcourt. A 30-minute surgery turned into 5 hours without any information from the hospital to the parents throughout the entire ordeal. At the end of the day, Chinazam came out of the surgery with brain damage. Chinazam is now 17 and has been hospitalized abroad for the past 7 years. Till today, Shell Nigeria has failed to give a report of exactly what went wrong with that surgery. The family has battled with his condition all these years, which has put tremendous pressure on them.
While the group urged relevant authorities to prevail on Shell to take responsibility for the life and health care of Chinazam Emeka Okoli.
Every lover of peace world over, the international community, the Nigerian government stand up and begin to fight and join voices for Chinazam Okoli. We demand that Shell must take lifetime responsibility for the health and welfare of Chinazam Okoli. 2. Shell must honor and adopt the life care plan and stop pricing it like a commodity. 3. Shell must make public the findings of Professor Ronke Desolu's report, which Shell itself commissioned. Until date, Shell has decided to put that report under the carpet. We are also demanding a full refund of all legal expenses so far incurred by the family of Chinazam.
River State Chairperson of the National Association of Women Journalists also spoke.
After hearing about this pathetic situation, Nawash felt so bad because one of our mandate and our core objective is voice to the children in the society, as we are also looking out for the women and girls' child. Injury to one is injury to all. We want to ensure that Shell do the needful. And I also want to call on the relevant stakeholders, the authorities, to come and put a check on Shell, because most of the things they are carrying out in Rivers State, to be specific, is just not encouraging. And this is one pathetic one they have also done.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has filed a lawsuit against the federal government over discriminatory, unfair and illegal treatment of its members. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, filed the suit at the National Industrial Court in Abuja on behalf of ASU. In business, the CBN has denied a report that it devalued the naira to 631 naira to the dollar. In a tweet, the CBN said the report that it has devalued the naira is fake news. In entertainment, a jury in Los Angeles has found U.S. actor Danny Masterson guilty on 2 out of 3 counts of rape. And in sports, as Roma head coach Jose Mourinho risked a UEFA ban and fine after confronting the Europa League officials in the stadium car park following his team's Europa League defeat to Sevilla on penalties after the match had ended in a 1-1 draw.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence is jumping into the race for the White House, joining a growing field of 2024 Republican contenders taking on his one-time boss, former President Donald Trump. On the news this afternoon, you heard that the GMD NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, has hinted that there are plans to reduce the effects of the fuel subsidy removal. The meeting between the NLC and the federal government on fuel subsidy removal has ended in a deadlock. Nigerians are expressing anger as filling stations adjust petrol price to reflect NNPCL's new price. Police to investigate killings in 2 local government areas of Rivers State. On the foreign scene, former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence to challenge Trump in race for the White House. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. Mostly cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Constance Mega. Thank you for listening. Coming up next is The Sunny Side. Do stay tuned.